Hello and welcome to another Dunoon Model Railway review. Today we will be reviewing the Auscision Models N class N463 City of Bendigo in V-Line Passenger Series 1. This model is currently sold out from Auscision Models. However, the N class is still available in a couple of liveries, and this version is still available from the shop Australian Modeler in Sydney. Let's start off with having a look at what we get. Now, it's pretty standard Auscision, and well, standard for most companies' packaging. You've got your foam, and then in here is the box. I'll get this out very carefully. It's difficult doing this with one hand and trying to focus on the camcorder because I still need to get a new tripod. Now, here's the model all wrapped up in its plastic, so first thing to do is to slide the plastic sheeting off, put that to the back. Next we've got to unclip the little side bits, flip that out, and then we can pull the loco out using the little plastic surrounding it. That just comes away nicely like that. Then all that's left to do is to pull out the little bits of foam that are protecting the handrails. Now this is there's a bit of dust on it, but I've had it out before. It's been DCC chipped and everything. This is a very nice model. It's an old one. I believe it was released about 2010. I may be wrong on this. I'll check when I go to set up the test layout to run it. It's got a lot of very well done detail. It's got separately applied handrails. The grille and mesh details excellent. You can see there's a little fan under there. You've got your little grills and the horn, and then if we come around to the front, you've got drivers, two drivers, you've got all your underframe detail. Now this actually has working marker lights if the camera wants to focus, which it doesn't, but this has tiny little working marker lights just in the grills above the air brake hoses. There is a bit of white residue there where I had to super glue the little multiple unit hoses back on after I DCC chipped it. My one complaint is that the couplers aren't actually genuine Cadiz. These are plastic. But other than that, that's all. Bogie details excellent. It's got separately applied wires, even in the places where you're not likely to see it. It's got little wires and tubing. 12-wheel drive, all wheels are driven. There's a switch underneath for if you want to turn the headlights on or off. Then the City of Bendigo, the N463 plate, and then camera probably won't want to, or will it? No, the camera will not want to. Sorry about that, I just accidentally cut the recording. Yeah, no, the camera still doesn't want to focus. But it's got the little City of Bendigo crest just there, which the real thing has. And then it's the same level of detail at the end. The other thing it's got is just these little wires, which are actually just the little blue wire up there connected to the white bits. That's actually for uncoupling, and they do move. They don't do anything for the coupler, but they do. You can move them, which is a nice touch. The handrails are very well applied. However, I do warn you to be careful when removing the body. As you can see just here, I've managed to knock out the handrails. The livery is very well done. It's very crisp. There are no places where it looks like it's a bit dodgy or anything. It's got also on the side without the number plates, it's got a very nicely applied Clyde Engineering builder's plate. It's got the staff exchanger recess, but not the staff exchanger, which is accurate for this period because they were removed when they were put into V-line passenger from the orange and grey. It's got the little headlight thing. It's got working headlights and marker lights and the little ditch lights just next to just above the multiple unit hoses. It's also got this fuel gauges. Now these don't light up, however I believe that later Auscision, the ones that are currently being planned, are actually going to have light up fuel gauges, at least in the case of the NR, which they're going to be releasing. So that pretty much covers this part of the model. So now I'll just go and get the test track set up and I will show you all how she runs. Well, I've now set up the test layout, which is just a loop of track on the table. Connected the Hornby E-Link, the Railmaster software on my small computer. So that's all set up. I've got N-Class here now. You can just see the two tiny little lights either side of the coupler. They're the ditch lights that I was talking about earlier that have been very nicely installed. If we come around to the other end, you can see it's got working red marker lights, and the lights are directional. If I change the direction, it'll change the lights. So I'll get it started up at shunt speed of 8 miles per hour, and it'll decide to die because of dirty track, but very slow. Makes a bit of noise when it's moving, but it's very smooth nonetheless. It's just a bit of hair stuck in the grill. There. So that's very slow. There's no flickering of the lights or anything. It's just bring it up to the top speed I've set it for, which is 60 miles per hour. Apparently, I think that the Hornby decoder is a bit slow actually, because now I could well be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that's a bit slower than 60 mile an hour. But it's very smooth runner. So if we just have a look at it coming around here, very smooth, not quite as quiet as some other Auscision locos I've heard, but it's pretty decent nonetheless. Let's bring it up to 108, which I think that the decoder might actually be set up on a 28 speed step rather than 128. Yeah, it does a nice turn of speed when prompted. And as can be seen, it looks very nice when going around quickly. If I just slow her down, I haven't yet adjusted the CV rates for acceleration or anything, which I'm not even sure you can do because I've just got the basic Hornby decoder in it. But I'll change the direction, send her back at 8, and then slowly, yeah, bring her up to 70, 80, 90, and this is the top speed that the decoder lets it go at. Again, it's very smooth in both directions. If I just bring it down, I think it's at 0, 3, it doesn't move. 4 miles an hour, and it's just moving. You can see here it's taking ages. I reckon it's taking about go 6 seconds just to move between the gap between sleepers, probably more like 7 or 8 to get from center of sleeper to center of sleeper. So it's very slow, and if it weren't for the noise in the background, you would barely be able to hear it. The noise in the background just means that you can't. So I'll bring it up to 7 and it's a bit faster. 10, 12, let's say bring it up to 50. And then we'll just bring her around here and we'll stop her, and that'll conclude the video. Alright, all in all, it's a very, very nice loco. I'll definitely be getting more in the future, assuming they don't go out of stock of the last couple of versions. I'm very much hoping they don't, because I quite like one in Mark II, which is basically this livery, just the I and E, it's slightly different. The V-line logo is a bit different, but that's it. All in all, it's a very nice loco. It's a very, very smooth runner. I highly recommend it to anyone who is interested basically in any Victorian railway scenario from when they were introduced in the early 80s to now, when they're still in common use every day. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and take a look at our other videos.